When it comes to choosing an operating system in 2025, the debate between macOS and Linux is more relevant than ever. Both have evolved significantly over the years, and both offer powerful experiences. But they are built on very different philosophies. If you are trying to decide which one is better, the answer isn't simple, because it depends on what kind of user you are, what you value, and how you actually use your computer in daily life. This is not just a technical comparison. It's a deeper look into usability, performance, customization, privacy, ecosystem, and long-term experience. macOS is designed and controlled by Apple, which means everything about it is tightly integrated. The hardware, the software, and even the apps are optimized to work together smoothly. This creates a polished and consistent experience. When you use a Mac, things just feel seamless. The animations are smooth, the interface is clean, and the system rarely feels unstable. Apple focuses heavily on user experience, and that shows in everything from the design of the desktop to the way apps behave. On the other hand, Linux is not a single operating system. It's a collection of distributions, each with its own style, purpose, and level of complexity. This gives Linux a huge advantage in flexibility, but it also means the experience can vary widely depending on what you choose. Some distributions are beginner-friendly and look modern, while others are more technical and designed for advanced users. This diversity is both a strength and a weakness. In terms of performance, both macOS and Linux are incredibly efficient, but they shine in different ways. macOS is optimized specifically for Apple hardware, which allows it to deliver excellent performance even on devices that don't have the highest specs on paper. Apple's custom chips have taken this to another level, offering fast speeds, low power consumption, and impressive battery life. Everything feels responsive, from opening apps to multitasking between heavy workloads. Linux, however, is known for being lightweight and highly efficient, especially on older or less powerful hardware. Many Linux distributions can run smoothly on machines that would struggle with other operating systems. This makes Linux a great choice if you want to extend the life of your device, or if you prefer a system that doesn't consume unnecessary resources. For developers and power users, Linux often feels faster because it allows more direct control over system processes. When it comes to ease of use, macOS has a clear advantage for most people. It is designed to be intuitive, with a consistent interface and minimal setup required. You can take a Mac out of the box and start using it immediately without worrying about configuration or compatibility issues. Everything is designed to work in a predictable way, which is especially important for beginners or users who just want a reliable system. Linux, while it has become more user-friendly over time, still requires a learning curve. Even the most beginner-friendly distributions may require some level of understanding when it comes to installing software, managing updates, or troubleshooting issues. For someone who is not comfortable with technology, this can be a barrier. However, for users who are willing to learn, Linux can be incredibly rewarding. Customization is where Linux truly stands out. With Linux, you can change almost everything about your system, from the desktop environment to the smallest details of how the system behaves. You have complete control. You can make your system look however you want, install only the components you need, and remove anything you don't like. This level of freedom is unmatched by macOS. macOS, in contrast, offers very limited customization. Apple controls the look and feel of the system, and while you can make some changes, you cannot fundamentally alter the interface or behavior. This is intentional because Apple wants to maintain a consistent experience across all devices. For many users, this is actually a benefit because it reduces complexity and ensures stability. Software availability is another important factor. macOS has strong support for professional applications, especially in creative fields like video editing, graphic design, and music production. Many industry-standard tools are optimized for macOS, and this makes it a popular choice among professionals. The App Store and third-party ecosystem provide a wide range of high-quality applications. Linux, on the other hand, has a massive collection of open-source software. There are alternatives for almost everything, from office suites to development tools. However, some popular proprietary applications are not available in Linux, which can be a limitation. While there are workarounds and compatibility layers, they don't always provide the same experience as native apps. For developers, Linux is often considered the best environment. It offers powerful command-line tools, easy access to programming languages, and a system that is very close to what runs on servers. This makes it ideal for software development, especially for web and back-end applications. Many developers prefer Linux because it gives them more control and flexibility. macOS is also a strong choice for developers, especially those working in mobile app development or within the Apple ecosystem. It provides a Unix-based environment similar to Linux, along with access to powerful tools like Xcode. This makes it a versatile option that combines ease of use with development capabilities. Security and privacy are areas where both systems perform well, but in different ways. macOS includes built-in security features and regular updates from Apple. The controlled ecosystem helps reduce the risk of malware, and the system is generally considered secure for everyday use. Apple also emphasizes user privacy, although it still collects some data. Linux is often seen as more secure because of its open source nature. Anyone can review the code, identify vulnerabilities, and contribute to improvements. This transparency makes it harder for hidden issues to exist. Additionally, Linux gives users more control over security settings, allowing for a highly customized and secure environment. One of the biggest differences between macOS and Linux is the ecosystem. macOS is part of a larger Apple ecosystem that includes iPhones, iPads, and other devices. This integration allows for features like file sharing, messaging, and continuity between devices. If you already use Apple products, macOS fits seamlessly into your workflow. Linux does not have a unified ecosystem in the same way. While there are ways to integrate with other devices, it requires more effort and configuration. However, this also means you are not locked into a specific ecosystem. You have the freedom to use any hardware or service you prefer. Cost is another important consideration. macOS is only available on Apple hardware, which is generally expensive. When you buy a Mac, you are paying for both the hardware and the software experience. While many users feel it is worth the price, it is not accessible to everyone. Linux, on the other hand, is free and open. You can install it on almost any computer without paying for a license. This makes it an excellent option for students, developers, and anyone looking to save money. It also allows you to repurpose old hardware instead of buying new devices. In terms of updates and support, macOS provides a consistent and centralized experience. Apple releases updates regularly, and they are easy to install. However, older devices eventually lose support, which can limit their lifespan. Linux distributions handle updates differently. Some offer long-term support, while others focus on rolling updates that keep the system continuously up to date. This gives users more choice, but it can also be confusing if you are not familiar with how it works. Another factor to consider is community support. Linux has a large and active community that provides help, tutorials, and resources. If you encounter a problem, you can often find solutions online. However, this requires some effort and willingness to search and learn. macOS relies more on official support from Apple. You can get help through customer service, documentation, and authorized service providers. This is more straightforward, especially for users who prefer guided assistance. Gaming is an area where both systems have limitations compared to Windows. macOS has some support for games, but it is not a primary focus. Linux has made significant progress in gaming, especially with compatibility tools, but it still does not match the availability and performance of Windows. For everyday tasks like browsing, watching videos, and using Office applications, both macOS and Linux perform well. The difference comes down to preference and workflow. macOS offers a smoother and more polished experience, while Linux offers more control and flexibility. In 2025, the choice between macOS and Linux is not about which one is universally better. It's about which one is better for you. If you value simplicity, design, and a seamless ecosystem, macOS is a great choice. If you value freedom, customization, and control, Linux is the better option. The future of both systems looks promising. Apple continues to refine macOS and integrate it more deeply with its hardware and services. Linux continues to grow with more user-friendly distributions and better hardware support. Ultimately, both macOS and Linux represent different visions of computing. One focuses on delivering a controlled, optimized experience, while the other focuses on providing freedom and flexibility. Neither approach is right or wrong. They simply serve different types of users. As technology evolves, the lines between these systems may continue to blur. Features will be shared, ideas will influence each other, and users will benefit from the competition. But the core philosophies will likely remain the same. So when you ask which one is better in 2025, the real question is what you need from your computer. Your answer to that question will guide you to the right choice.